Alright folks, good afternoon. We're here at Union Turnpike and 260th Street here in Glen Oaks. So, I decided to come here after my department's volunteer luncheon today. Alright? So, here's the problem. The luncheon was supposed to end at 3 o'clock today. And I figured, you know what? Let me walk a little bit down so I can be guaranteed a bus, right? And to my surprise, a lot of missing trips from both Long Island Jewish Hospital and Glen Oaks 260th Street have not been filled so far after 3 o'clock. So let's recap what's going on here. All right. So 303 did not get filled. Okay. Now we got a missing 310 trip, and now the problem's going to be if the next bus leaves. Right, the next bus leaves at 3:25 from Long Island Jewish. So if the next bus does not show up here, we're going to be in a standing room only situation. All right, here we go. Now this guy shows up late, so at least he's not going to get crowded. But let's see how this ends up, because this is going to be a disaster. Alright, so there is some good news if the camera can focus. That is the 3:15 bus that just left Long Island Jewish. It's now 3:19, and it's only going to get worse, folks. This bus is just going to get too overcrowded, because I just told the driver here on 8023 that basically now, with all the amount of people going to New Jersey tonight for the Devil Ranger game, you know, you have the people who obviously, you know, want to go over the Hudson tonight for the hockey game. And, you know, the bottom line is, you know, it's only going to get worse, because now with the school kids being out, I don't care. I'm literally noticing the PS 115 kids just got out. So, add on the fact that MTA is not telling us that there's operator availability today, per usual. You know, what's the excuse? Shouldn't the MTA know in this area today that, number one, we had the volunteer luncheon at the Talio restaurant on Union Turnpike, and then number two, the fact that a once in a blue moon hockey playoff game is happening in New Jersey tonight. So, yeah, just be lucky the Knicks aren't at the Garden until Friday. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, the Yankees are playing tonight too. So, only going to get worse once we get going on this route. And by the way, speaking of operator availability, do you see anything on Twitter about the Q46 running with delays due to operator availability? Nope, nothing at all. Nothing at all. All you see here is, you know, express buses per usual that don't, you know, go out. And look, the BM trips from Spring Creek aren't going out. And then here's a BXM1 in the Bronx from Yonkers Depot. It's not going to go out. BXM11. Another Spring Creek bus. So, I mean, look at this. Only thing they had today was about Q65 detour. And then look at this. It gets much worse here in the middle of Queens today. Originally, they thought the buses here on the QM4 were not going to get filled to Flushing, but thankfully it is going to get filled. So, yeah. I mean, this is a disaster, guys. They don't mention it any of the local bus routes. I didn't even see anything on the MyMTA app about it either when I was trying to figure out what was going on. Alright guys, so I just got off bus 8023 a little while ago, and guys, let me tell you, that was a nightmare. That was just a nightmare. So the bus had a lot of school kids, understandable. Alright, maybe there were some people heading over to Penn Station to, again, get over to New Jersey tonight. And like I mentioned, there is a Yankee game tonight in the Bronx. So that's a couple factors today. Remember, Knicks aren't back at the Garden until Friday, correct? So game 3's not till Friday, right? So it was a mess, guys. The driver at, I think it was Springfield Boulevard, he was on the PA, and what happened was, he's telling people, hey, you got to move to the back. All right. But the automated PA system, guys, it was so low, I could barely hear it. And then I had to remind the passengers the next stop for Francis Lewis Boulevard and shout at the top of my lungs because the PA system wasn't working. It was barely inaudible. The automated announcements that they have on it. And then I think a lady who was a patient at Creedmoor, she got on and she was shouting something, and it was some kind of weird Asian language. I don't know, but I know I don't discriminate, but she was annoying, this elderly lady. And oh my God, with the bunching today. This is crazy. You have like 3 Q46 buses that are literally on the route right now heading to Kew Gardens. And okay, that's understandable. Because again, with the people who need to take the E for 2 purposes today, 1, to get over to Penn Station and connect over to New Jersey Transit, and then number 2, connect over to 7th Avenue and take the B or D train up to the Bronx. So, yeah, here comes the Q17. But guys, this has been a nightmare today. And believe me, I'm going to have a talk with Richard Davey on Monday because we need cops on the bus. Because we need crowd control. We definitely need crowd control. Or we need to bring back the retired matrons who used to work on the New York City school bus system and have them work crowd control. I'm sure the MTA will hire him. And here comes my bus, and no surprise, crowded. So we probably got people taking this to head over to the 7 train, and then they're going to take the 4 at Grand Central. All right, guys, I'm home, and I thought of one other idea that I'm probably going to propose to Richard besides the whole cop/matron idea if they don't take it to light. Another idea, and I know this sounds controversial, and I know the MTA is going to lose money for it in the short run until Omni goes into effect, but since the student Metro cards are technically provided for free, why can't the kids just board from the rear door? That would make it a lot easier and the buses could run more on time. So I'm going to try to propose that idea to Richard on Monday, and MTA should work close with the DOE about this, because I know it's only going to be for 2 months, but I'm telling you guys, MTA needs to get their act together once it gets to the summertime. They need to start turning on the rear door Omni readers. And then once we go into the 23-24 school year, the students need to be given their student Omni cards, because this is taking way too long. It's getting way too dangerous to ride the buses, and I think one of the dangerous ways that's going on is fare collecting, and that's what Omni is supposed to do. It's crazy to think, like, London is years ahead of us. All you have to do, if you want to board the bus, even from the rear, it's just tap your Oyster card. It's so simple. How come England is years ahead of us in this technology, and yet we're 20 plus years behind them? I don't get it. But that's an idea I'm going to propose if the idea of hiring the matrons in the short run to come back idea doesn't work out, and cop enforcement idea doesn't work out. Because I'm telling you, when drivers know they're near schools on a route, bottom line is just tell the kids to board the rear door. Again, they already have their student Metro cards. What's the point? Especially, as I said, when student Omni cards get issued, it's only going to make things worse if it doesn't improve anytime soon, guys. So I will mention, when I was on the Q17 earlier, 8083, the good news is wasn't that crowded, but no surprise, no cop. So instead of being underground during school hours, why can't we have cops patrolling the buses? At least one officer. That way they can at least make sure the kids can board from the rear door.
Yeah, I know the MTA is not going to make any money in the short run, but once Omni comes in, I'm telling you, the MTA is going to really see its profit margin increase. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'm done talking. So I'm gonna speak to Richard Davey on Monday about what I experienced today and discuss my ideas. So that's pretty much it, guys. And again, the driving operator availability issue that has to be solved because when I was on Union and 188th Street, I saw 4 Q46 buses westbound bunched. So that doesn't tell you anything about the craziness with the depots, not just Queens Village, but Casey Stengel and College Point in Jamaica. And then I don't know what else will, guys. So that's pretty much it. I'm disgusted, and you'll hear more from me on Monday. So regarding the bus issue. So that's it.